If you follow the Melbourne street scene, then you would have seen this 9-second HSV that we've featured previously on fullBOOST. Currently the quickest LSA powered GTS in Australia. We caught up with owner Brett and Steve from Vision Automotive recently as they were fine-tuning the Gen F at Dynohouse after a fresh round of performance upgrades. Today we're back at Dynohouse and we're here with Brett again with this awesome VF GTS. Now last time, mate, we were pushing the boundaries of, I guess, the LSA engine. A lot's changed since then. Do you want to give us a bit of a run through?
Since then, I sold that motor. Now I've got a 427 built by Steve. Worked in with the guys at Harrop with one of their new 2650 blowers. It's got like a prototype snout on it with 110mm throttle body. It's got a little CNC port program they've got on it, and it's making some pretty good power. So. And
that new inlet's quite nice because it's obviously you can't really see the throttle body. And
it's all integrated.
Yeah, it's all integrated. It still runs a GM style drive-by-wire.
It's very, just plug and play, yeah.
So back it up a bit. The original engine, why did you pull that out? Because that was a built engine from memory.
It was a built engine as well, but it was only a standard cuber.
Yeah.
So with a bigger blower, I thought I'll go a bigger engine and really try and push the boundaries.
Now, I always thought that you would stick with the LSA blower, Brett, but you and I both knew that you were, well, pushing the boundaries of how fast you could run with that thing. And to be honest, it was way faster than I thought you'd ever.
Yeah, I didn't think it would get where it got to, but I don't think if I kept persisting, I don't think I would have found anything else. Harrop reached out and I thought I'll give that new blower a shot and see what it's capable of. And I didn't think it would make this much power, but I'm pretty impressed with it.
So what sort of power are we talking here? We'll give it a run up in a second, but what power difference have you seen going from the LSA setup to this new setup?
Oh, huge. Like all under the curve sort of power, probably like 150 horsepower at least. Big increase, hard to drive on the street now. So much torque.
Yeah.
And then, you know, over 1,000 horsepower at the wheels. It's in a blown car. It's where it's instant.
It is, because I notice when you're racing at Calder Park and other tracks, you pretty much tree everyone.
Yeah, well...
That's the beauty of the positive displacement setup, isn't it?
You don't really need any downtime.
So the 427 itself, is it an iron block, alloy block?
This is an alloy block, 6-bolt block, LSR. I had custom engines do the machining on that. It's got a Kelly's crank in it, Wiseco pistons and a Kelly's rod.
What sort of cylinder? You had mask cylinder heads, I think, on the last engine.
I had trick flows by Tony Mamo. This time, Tony Mamo cleaned up a set of Frankenstein heads.
Oh, yeah.
Just like an LS3 head from America. Yeah, just they look a little bit different than a conventional head, and they make good power, so it's working well.
On top of that, I know you had an interchiller type system on the last engine. This is being carried over. How did you get that on the car with this supercharger?
So the guys at Harrop, they fabbed us up a few little adapters and stuff, and I think revised the intercooler cores. I think it's a twin pass now, maybe.
Yeah, you can see the billet bracket, the billet outlets there.
They look good, they work well. The water that comes out of it's frozen sometimes, so you know the blower doesn't really get too hot compared to what, you know, a lot of people say that the Harrops run hot, and I'm not finding it.
Yeah, it's come up good. Now, I know this car's always had a standard driveline. What's going on there? Have you broken everything yet?
I haven't broken anything still.
You must have got the Monday morning special, mate.
I don't know. I think a lot of it, like I mentioned last time, has to do with how they're tuned.
Yeah.
Touch wood. It's still standard auto, standard diff, standard axles, standard tail shaft. It's got a converter in it now from Circle D. You
wouldn't need to change the stall speed that much though in a car.
It's only 3,000 now. Yeah, I just thought, like when I seen the cam that was going in it, I thought maybe a good idea to just put it in now. I'd driven the car with a standard converter as well, and it still works pretty good.
And this is on pump E85 still?
Yeah, pump E85.
So Steve, you've been involved in this car for many years, and you're not only built the engine, but you also tune it.
Yep.
Do you want to bring us a few of the graphs up and we'll just run through some of the differences between the, I guess, the different setups?
Yep. The first one we've got here was when it was LSA. We managed to produce 864 at the rear hubs.
That was when we filmed it last time.
That's when we filmed it last time. Made a peak of 18, just over 18 pounds boost. Plenty of power, plenty of torque down low early. Still at 376. This now is the new 427 with the Harrop 2650. As you can see, we've made just a little bit over 1,050 at the rear hubs, and we managed to increase the boost up to nearly 22 pounds there.
So you've actually taken it to the track at that power level, yeah?
Yep, and we ran a 940 in Sydney with that power level.
At about 150, I think.
Yeah, just under 150 mile an hour.
Yep.
So the LSA combo was running 956. So yeah, it was a little bit of an improvement, but we had a lot of sorting out with the car. Well, finding traction had become a bigger problem than what we had.
Yeah, I remember you were having trouble taking off in it.
Yeah.
All right, Brett, why don't we get it on the dyno? I actually haven't heard it on full noise since you've changed it all, mate.
Yeah, let's give it a pull and see what it does.
Alright Steve, so we're just finished. Where have we ended up?
Today we've ended up with 1,087 horsepower at the hubs nearly. We're just over 25 pounds boost, and we've made a lot more torque than previous. If we convert that to Newton meters, you're probably looking at maybe 1350 or so at the hubs, which is a fair effort for the car to be dynoed in fourth gear with the 6L90. The power pretty much from when it started to be produced,
yeah,
and it carried through.
It's making huge amount of power everywhere, not just
everywhere,
in the top end,
yeah. We're looking forward to racing it with that power and converter. We just haven't had a chance to go to the track yet.
You've sort of got a lot better low down torque there, haven't you?
We have, yeah. We've actually increased the torque pretty much from the old LSA, which was just a torque monster from the word go. So it's become very efficient. So
you were saying earlier, in a perfect world, hopefully you can run sort of up over 155?
Yeah, we're trying to trap 156 to 158 mile an hour out of it now.
Okay.
And we're looking for a 90, 91 to begin with. We're probably going to have a lot more traction issues, even though we've gone to a 15-inch Pro Radial. We have put the standard MRC back in the car just to see what the difference was from the coilovers where we had an adjustable compression and rebound before, just to see what the car does and if it likes it or not.
Yeah, I've noticed the last few times you've had it out, traction is your biggest issue.
With the old LSA, we managed a 1.360 foot, and from that, I think our quickest has been like a high 1.4 now. We're still running the E67. We're running it mathless. Because we are making over 25 pounds boost, we kind of have to, the computer can only read up to like 256 kPa.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
So it's a little bit tricky on those last couple of cells, but we're able to get the fueling right to maintain the horsepower in the top end. We kind of start the run with this blower at around 25 degrees and finish up at around 50, 52 degrees.
All right, so Brett, so she's nearly on 1,100 wheel hub horsepower. You must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it's good. It's quite a bit more than what the LSA made, so
that's picked up over 200 peak horsepower, but like it's picked up, I don't know,
a lot through the mid-range too, yeah. It's very, very different to drive. It's got a lot more torque, a lot more power through the mid-range as well, not just peak, so I'm really happy with it.
You're saying on the street it's she's a fair animal.
Oh, it's hard to tame on the street, very hard.
So what are your future plans now? Now we are in, I guess, lockdown, I guess, so the tracks are all closed.
There's not much else we can do. Maybe just tinker with a few things. Maybe have a play with, see if we can squeeze any more horsepower until the tracks open up and go from there.
And let it eat.
Yeah, send it.
Now, is there anyone you'd like to thank? Obviously, there's a
few guys that helped in this build. Arthur from Custom Engines for the machining, Performance Wholesale for the block, Frankenstein for the cylinder heads, Tony Mamo for cleaning them up and porting them, Circle D for the converter, works really well, Adam from Precision Parts for supplying the rotating assembly. Also, I'd like to thank Steve from Vision for building the engine and tuning the car. He's turned it into a real beast and still drives like an absolute stocker. So
I'm still impressed that the Driveline is putting up with this.
Yeah, look, it is good. I thought by now I'd be changing some parts. I mean, I am expecting it, but I haven't had to do anything as of yet, so touch wood.
You were saying earlier you're looking at maybe upgrading the transmission before it lets go.
Yeah, look, Circle D Transmissions in America reached out to us and told us they've got some parts that'll make it hold up big power, so I'm going to get Luke from Hasty Trans to build that for us and see if we can make a bit more power with what we're planning on next.
Now Brett, a little bird told me that there might be something else planned for this car.
Yeah, look, the guys at Harrop believe that they've got something else that might make a little bit more power or a lot more. We just have to wait and see and hope for the best, but it looks promising.
Hey, could you guys just shut up for 5 minutes? Yeah, thanks.